Did you know what a technological marvel the American Adventure Show is at Epcot? Well, this week we're going to take a look behind the screens.
Yes, and nothing is more American than donuts. So we're also going to tell you what you need to know about the new Everglazed donuts and cold brew at Disney Springs. Born and glazed in Florida.
That's right. All that and the latest Disney news on this week's show. Hey, folks. Welcome to this week's show. We are so glad you've joined us. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kelly.
And you are wearing more new ears.
I am. I said I racked up.
You
These
did.
are my Fantasia. I was calling them Mickey Sorcerer ears.
Well, I think that Sorcerer's Apprentice ears. Yeah.
Okay,
I think that absolutely
Fantasia
works.
ears. I love these.
There's some of my favorites that you got.
Love these. There's no bow. They're hardcore Mickey.
There's no bow.
And the little sorcerer hat is totes adorbs.
Yeah, and as we're walking through the parks, I enjoyed taking pictures of you, like, in front of me with your hat
You
perspective.
kept saying, hey, stop. Let me
get a picture of this. So, yeah, these are some of my favorites.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we do every week, I look through, I see where we're downloading, and we're just taking a virtual trip around the world, honestly.
That's so exciting.
I love it. So this week we saw downloads from Calabasas, California, which is just north of L.A., outside of Malibu. Looks like a beautiful area.
Okay.
Corinth, Texas, which is a suburb of Dallas and Fort Worth.
Okay.
Brighton, New York, which is...
Beach.
It's
beach
just,
in England.
It is.
It's not a beach in New York. It's a beach in England.
It is actually close to Lake Ontario. It's right opposite. Rochester, New York is right between it and the lake. So,
Okay.
Yeah, it's basically Rochester. I bet they're super excited about their Buffalo Bills right now because they are killing it and looking great. Brussels, Belgium, one of the most beautiful cities and underrated, I think, cities in Europe. I think that it's awesome. So hopefully we'll get there one day. So, hey, thank you all for everybody that downloads. I'm always blown away each week that anybody wants to download this and listen to it. So we are super appreciative. Thank you so much. And hey, add us on social media and we'll send you a sticker.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, don't forget, we are giving away this awesome prize pack.
Yes, and for those of you just listening to the podcast, he's pointing to a lovely selection of a Loungefly bag, Pixar ears, a Little Green Man popcorn bucket, and some Soul merch. This is a Pixar-themed prize pack that we're giving away out on YouTube in honor of the Soul launch.
That's right. You got 2 weeks left to enter. Go to YouTube, check out the giveaway rules. It tells you all the ways to get entries. We've got hundreds of entries already.
So exciting.
Some people have dozens of entries because they are commenting and liking and everything like crazy. It's awesome. It's very fun to watch all that happen every day.
Definitely.
So take part in that. Okay, we ready?
Let's hit the news. Main Street, USA.
Main Street. Politically, Walt Disney joined the long list of companies that has decided to suspend any kind of political contributions to candidates that voted to reject the certification of electoral college votes.
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, I think that's good. Hopefully...
You don't need any more civil unrest.
That's right.
That's what it takes. Hit them where it hurts.
That's right. And, you know, they said for 2021, they're suspending all that. I don't think there's really any elections in 2021, so we'll see how that, if it really matters, people will really be fundraising next year, but we'll see. The threat of it alone should dislodge some things. Disneyland sadly has canceled all annual pass and suspended their program for annual passes indefinitely. They're coming up with something new, maybe, but
they called it new membership options, right? Which I thought was interesting. The word,
yeah, agreed. And so they'll also start seeing some refunds coming for people who are on a Premier annual pass program, which gets you to both Walt Disney World and Disneyland.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, it's hopefully it doesn't, you know, it's not a harbinger of things to come for Walt Disney World if they're coming up with whole new programs, but we'll see how it goes.
See how it goes.
So since the parks reopened back in the middle of the summer in Florida, they've never really reinstituted the extra magic hours,
right?
For, you know, hotel on property resorts. But what they are about to do is they're going to launch a program that allows anyone staying at a Disney or Disney-friendly resort, 30 minutes access into the parks ahead of normal park opening. We were talking about this. Not sure that's enough time.
Right.
You know, maybe an hour would have been better.
It gives you a head start to some of the rides with long waits.
For anybody that's not already staying on property.
Right.
Yeah. But unlike the extra magic hours, this is every park every day. So it's
it's so interesting. It's such an interesting decision. I mean, I know they're tracking everything, so they know what they're doing, but it's an interesting decision.
Exactly. The Disney Magic Express is being retired at the end of 2021.
Amen.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot
of Felicia.
I know we moved away from it a little while back, but I was actually very surprised on social media, the conversations, people are mad.
It's free transportation from the airport to the resort.
There were a lot of people really upset about it.
Well, they didn't say that they're not going to launch something different. They just said they're getting rid of the Magical Express.
Right. There's a train coming, right? They're building a train, a high-speed train that's going to go from the airport to Disney Springs. Not necessarily to one of the resorts, but...
but then at Disney Springs, though, you could hop a bus to any resort.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we'll see what they come up with, if anything else, specifically to replace the buses. Mears will still offer an option. That's who ran the bus lines anyway.
Sure.
Yeah. So, super exciting. The Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover has started testing in earnest. People have actually witnessed it moving.
I know. I'm so excited.
Right now, it's just an air mover.
So excited about this. I almost wore my People Mover t-shirt tonight in honor of this news. I'm so excited about it. The People Mover is one of my favorite rides.
I was listening to another podcast recently, and they had 4 guests on, and all 4 guests said the People Mover in Tomorrowland was their favorite ride.
I love it. I love the People Mover.
There's something about it. It's classic. And it's not the excitement. It's just the nostalgia of the thing.
It's perfect, and you get to see into rides. I love it.
And it offers views of the castle that are really great. It's a wonderful
good breeze on a hot day. There's nothing bad about the People Mover.
Exactly. Gideon's Bakehouse opened. Its official grand opening was yesterday in Disney Springs, and just watching the socials talk about the wait times.
I gained weight looking at their Instagram stories. I'm not gonna lie, I gained weight watching the Instagram stories.
Yeah, it was 11 hours was the longest wait time I saw yesterday.
I mean, God bless them.
I love it. It
is pure sorcery, and they deserve every. They do deserve every bit of it.
Just after seeing that startup store, I
love it.
I want them to have all the.
I'm so excited for
all the success for them.
All the good things for Gideon's.
Second Harmonious Barge has now been moved out onto World Showcase Lagoon. There's ultimately going to be 5 of these things, and so I remember when there was one on the water when we were there.
They're big.
They're enormous.
These things are not tiny. Like, I've seen some of the artist renderings.
Yeah.
And I think, no.
I've seen one barge. To think that there's going to be 4 more of these things out there.
This thing is massive.
Yeah.
It's massive. It's going to be the lagoon.
It is. But imagine the show it's going to put on. That's great. You remember the baby rhino, the little boy that was born a little while back? He's got a name.
Aww.
His name is Ranger.
Oh, that's a cute little name.
That's a cute name for what is undoubtedly hundreds of pounds worth of rhinoceros.
That's a cute little name, little Ranger.
So, pop quiz: what is a group of rhinos called?
Rhini.
A crash.
Is it really?
A crash. So Ranger will be joining the crash of rhinos out on the safari.
Oh, now that's precious. I really like that.
Me too. I like that too.
In fact.
Disney they say they're considering moving some of their operations from California to Orlando. It could just be posturing. I think this is part of their fight with the state of California over coronavirus restrictions and all that. But hey, Disney is going to be a mass testing site, so
I know
they're
using
exciting.
the parking lots.
Yeah, a new exhibit is coming to Epcot in the American Adventure. It's going to be called The Soul of Jazz, an American Adventure.
Oh, yes, I saw that. I'm excited about it.
So Joe Gardner from Soul will walk us through the colorful and surprising history of jazz in the in America, which is a uniquely American musical genre.
Yeah.
We visit New Orleans, Chicago, New York, LA, and San Juan, Puerto Rico on our journey through jazz.
That's fantastic. And I will say the Soul soundtrack is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. WandaVision?
I loved it.
I loved it too. It's quirky. It's crazy. I don't know what's going to happen next.
You're like, what is going to happen? What are they going to do?
Yeah.
It feels like almost, one of those little endings at the end of a movie that you stay to watch.
Yeah, that's the whole thing feels like that. That's
the whole
exactly
show feels like.
And you're like,
what was that? Did you see that? And then you spend like days trying to think it through. I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Really cute.
I can't wait to watch the next episode. So that's sort of my main take. If I can't wait to see the next episode, then I'm into it.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Ready for a mini take?
Mini take. Let's hit it.
All right. I had Mickey go ahead and pre-select one here, but I haven't looked at the question yet. Okay. This or that.
Okay.
Sci-fi dine-in theater or 50s primetime cafe?
Sci-fi.
Sci-fi. Me too.
No question about it.
Yeah, no question for me.
50s primetime is fine.
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Sometimes I don't want to be shamed into eating my green beans.
Yeah, but it's the atmosphere of sci-fi.
I know.
Where you get to sit in the cars and it's all the B movies. And frankly, after you did your little, World Showcase episode on sci-fi, I think I fell even more in love with it.
Oh, that's nice of you to say.
I mean, it had stuff on the menu I didn't even realize. You explained the whole B movie thing that I didn't even know was a real thing.
Yeah. Right.
I love it.
Well, I love anything. For some reason, I am just drawn to these locations at Disney where they make the inside look like outside.
Yeah,
I love that environment that they can pull off so well. And I also just like outdoor theater food, like burgers and fries and onion rings and milkshakes. I like that kind of fare.
They make an awesome milkshake.
They do.
And it's like old school where they give you the whole thing that they blended it in, and you essentially get two shakes out of it.
That's true. That is so true.
No, it's good. Sci-fi, not even a question.
Nothing against primetime. I'm just for sci-fi.
It's fine. I'm for sci-fi, 100%. Yeah. If we can get a reservation at sci-fi, I almost always want to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd do that over Brown Derby.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Why be so up, we don't have to be so nice.
Well, I mean, we're just looking for good food.
Yeah.
Sci-fi's got it, absolutely.
Are you ready for your Tomorrowland?
I am so excited about Tomorrowland.
Well, let's go there.
So you hinted at this a little bit in the last episode, and I've decided just to take a deep dive.
Oh, boy.
We're going to go through Everglazed donuts and cold brew at Disney Springs. So this is on the west side of Disney Springs.
Okay.
They've recently opened Everglazed Donuts, Florida Grazed and Grown, I think is what they call themselves. They are #glazing happiness daily.
Okay.
So I'm going to read you the write-up on the Disney website.
Okay.
Discover handcrafted confections featuring mouth-watering yeast and cake donuts with an assortment of cold brew pick-me-ups and a few sweet yet savory sandwiches. Ooh. Immerse yourself in a complete donut experience as you gaze through the windows of the Everglazed working show kitchen, where the humble donut is fried, glazed, and piled high with a rainbow of toppings.
The humble donut.
Whoever wrote this gets a raise. I love it so much. So they refer to them as made from scratch rings of happiness. Mm. And I can't put that down, coffee-centric drinks. Okay, here's cool. They have a vegan option, and people on the socials are already asking for more vegan options. It's the purple oob. If I'm mispronouncing that, I'm sorry. It's UBE.
I wouldn't know what else to say.
Purple oob, that's what I'm going with. It's made with sweet potatoes, and everybody says it tastes exactly like a glazed donut.
Made with sweet potatoes.
It is a bright purple donut. There's no other way to describe it. So I would totally have that.
Like on the inside too?
It's purple. Oh. It is purple. It is purple. It's not a purple glaze. It is a purple donut.
Okay.
The purple oob. They also have a really cool patio, which they call the donut garden. So I think it's meant to look like a beer garden.
Oh, nice.
But it's donut garden.
Okay.
So I mean, like, patio with strung lights and picnic tables and fake grass. I mean, it's cute. It's really cute.
Okay.
So they have the classics that you expect, right? They've got the glaze, the chocolate ice, the vanilla cake with and without sprinkles, blueberry cake, strawberry iced with sprinkles, and fruity pebbles. I do love that
Fruity Pebbles.
I do love that the Fruity Pebbles is part of their classics line. I have never seen a Fruity Pebble donut. But it's a classic. Classic. Right. Okay. And so then you get into what they call their funky bunch. Now,
because the Fruity Pebbles donut isn't.
I've got to say, I didn't mention this, but if you go onto their Insta and you look at some of the stories they've posted, the window where you watch them ice and glaze the donuts, if you've ever found yourself mesmerized by a Krispy Kreme store,
and boy have I.
This takes that up 10,000 notches.
Seriously.
Because it's not just the original glaze that's going through. They're putting a lot of stuff through that. And it's not, I mean, you've got the waterfall of melted sugar. Okay, so we've got that, but it's controlled by a human. So they're not just go on a conveyor belt. It doesn't look nearly as mechanical as the Krispy Kreme does. Sure. Okay, so imagine you've got a tray of apple fritters in front of you. And you take this thing by the handles and you push it back and forth
through the
and it glazes the donuts. It creates it's a waterfall glaze in your hands, the sugar glaze, and you push it back and forth to ice those things
until you feel like you've reached
When I was watching it, I said, "This is why I will never be skinny." This right here, this is why. And you know what? I don't want to be. If that means I can't eat stuff at Everglazed, I don't want it. Because, man, I'm going to live.
That's right.
I am going to live. So let me go over some of the funky bunch. Okay, so this is the ones that you're seeing pictured on the socials. Okay, so the first one is called the Nutella Bella. This is Nutella cream-filled chocolate iced donut with crushed hazelnuts. Peanut Butter Explosion. This is a chocolate iced donut, peanut butter chips, crushed Reese's Cup, and chocolate peanut butter frosting. Now, here's something that I want to make sure you hear. Chocolate peanut butter frosting. They're not talking about the icing that's on top of the donut. They're squirting what looks like buttercream frosting into the hole in the middle of the donut so that you can have toppings all across the top. There's no hole where the toppings can't be.
But you've got toppings sitting on frosting.
You got an iced donut with toppings on the iced donut. It is properly glazed, properly iced with frosting squirted into the hole and toppings all across the top.
I think I just got diabetes.
Oreo Surprise, a vanilla iced donut, crushed Oreos, and vanilla frosting. So they squish vanilla frosting into the hole, and they put an entire Oreo right on top of that vanilla frosting.
Right, they do.
God bless them. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, cinnamon iced donut, crushed cinnamon toast crunch, cream cheese frosting, and dusted with cinnamon sugar. Honey, this one, I'm telling you, this has your name all over it. The maple double bacon. Now, this is a maple iced donut loaded with crispy bacon. So when I say bacon, I'm talking about slices. I'm talking about full bacon slices that are like 2 or 3 inches long. And they layer them around the top of the donut. Like on top of each other. Fantastic.
Gosh, if anybody's listening to this right after watching the video that I took eating a donut, I look terrible.
The Mounds Coconut Dream. This is a coconut almond iced donut, toasted coconut, chopped mounds, cream cheese frosting, and a vanilla icing drizzle. I could watch them make that thing all day. So that's your funky bunch. Okay, that's what you're seeing on the socials. But they also have sandwiches, breakfast and lunch sandwiches. Okay. And these come on a sweet bun, which looks kind of like a Hawaiian sweet bun, not a roll but a bun. You can substitute a glazed donut for $1 more. And that's what you're seeing on the socials.
Well, why wouldn't you?
So let's talk about the donut burger. 2 patties, American cheese, ketchup, mayo, lettuce, tomato, and bread and butter pickles.
On a donut.
You can get it on a donut for $1 extra. Yeah. Yes.
I'm assuming that on a donut.
The one that you see on a donut all over the socials is the grilled cheese. There's like 7 E's.
Okay. I thought maybe you had a stroke there, but no, you were just reading.
The grilled cheese. Oodles of cheeses served on a griddled sweet bun, but everybody's getting that on the donut. I haven't seen anybody on the socials not get that on a donut. But this one's getting a lot of love online. The funky chicken.
Okay.
Fried chicken, ranch slaw, barbecue, and spicy mayo with bread and butter pickles. It is getting a lot of love. They're saying it is the best fried chicken sandwich on Disney property.
Wow.
They have a classic egg and cheese and a breakfast Sammy with bacon or sausage, right? So they're there, breakfast and lunch, man. Yeah. They got you hooked. They have waffle fries. Spicy, regular waffle fries. They also have spicy fries with buffalo seasoning, scallions, and spicy mayo, or loaded fries with chili, queso, bacon, scallions, tomato, cilantro, and sour cream. I love Everglazed.
We've never been there, and you just know you'll love it.
Zero shame, and I want to hug them.
That's right.
I want to be like, you know what? Yes, we can all be keto next week. I need to hug you for this menu. So they have their Everglazed donuts and cold brew. So naturally, they have some cold brews, just a few, peppermint mocha, salted caramel, and cinnamon bun, right? So, you're average.
Average.
They have what they call cold brew pairs. So 2 of their cold brews come with a donut properly paired to it.
Oh, my word.
So one of them is called the 5-0. This is cold brew, cream, vanilla, coffee syrup, topped with strawberry iced sprinkles donut. The other one is a Reese's Nitro. A nitro cold brew, peanut butter and vanilla syrups, chocolate drizzle, crushed Reese's peanut butter cups, topped with a peanut butter explosion donut. These things look fantastic. So in addition to that, they also have spiked coffees, cold beers, and seltzers. So the strawberry mocha, for example, is cold brew, cream, rum cordial, chocolate cordial, chocolate syrup, strawberry puree, and whipped cream.
Good Lord.
The mocha lotta mudslide with cold brew, cream, chocolate syrup, coffee, rum, and chocolate cordials, pina colada mix, and whipped cream.
Golly, they just don't care what they do to people.
I love these people. Little Italy, cold brew, sweet cream, amaretto cordial, whipped cream, and a wedding cookie crumble. God bless Everglazed Donuts. Born and glazed in Florida. They are just printing money. And they should be.
I gained 6.5 pounds in the last 10 minutes.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh,
You're welcome.
That was awesome.
I know.
That was awesome. It was delicious, too. Just the description was delicious.
I want that grilled cheese.
I don't even know how to make a turn out of that to something else. But here we go to World Showcase.
Here we go.
World Showcase, actually, specifically. Hey, so maybe you've heard, but there's been a little bit of, historical events lately in the United States. Yeah. Could get you down, could get you depressed, maybe a little bit about the state of our nation. But Wednesday, we have an inauguration. We're going to bring in new administration, and inaugurations are almost always a day of hope and renewal and all that for the country. And so I'm excited about that. It got me sort of thinking, I'm going to do the American Adventure in World Showcase. So the American Adventure is the name of the U.S. Pavilion at the World Showcase, but it's also the name of the show.
You love that show.
I love this show. I've got maybe an unnatural love for this show. I think a lot of people treat it like Epcot's version of the Hall of Presidents, where it's a good place to go nap, because I think the show's a little longer too. I know it's what you do.
It's like a solid power nap. It's like a 15-minute show.
Yeah, and for those who want to take a nap, it's air conditioned. It's a big theater,
comfortable seats.
Yep, and it's for those of us though who actually enjoy the show, it is incredible. This is not just a great historical recount, but it's also a technological marvel of a show. So as I said, it's the name of the actual show that's inside the main building in the American Pavilion, there at Epcot's World Showcase. It recounts America's often tumultuous history through a stage show in a 1,024-seat theater. And it employs a rear-projected 72-foot movie screen, moving sets, patriotic songs, and 35 audio animatronic figures, including Mark Twain and Ben Franklin, who serve as the hosts and narrators of America's historical timeline. One of the Ben Franklin's walks during the show, and at the time it was the most advanced technological animatronic ever created. Wow. Nobody had ever made one walk before. Randy Bright, the producer of the show, said that the final show was the result of over 600 failures.
Wow.
Yeah. He worked closely with Dr. Alan Yarnell, who was a historical consultant and professor at UCLA at the time, on the project. And they said that there were two things they wanted to really kind of make sure they honored. One, that the American Adventure is about overcoming adversity. Hello, we're sort of in that today.
Hello.
And they didn't, and I really appreciate this for the late 70s when they were actually developing the show. They didn't want to whitewash the American Adventure. While also realizing that people are on vacation, they're there to be entertained. They didn't want, so they didn't want to be too heavy-handed, but they didn't want to ignore the things that weren't so attractive about American history.
Okay.
Right? So they sort of tackle slavery and those kinds of things head on.
Okay.
Right. You've seen it, right?
I've not. I've literally never watched it.
I know you've been in there with me a few times.
I have. I think I've seen the curtains open once or twice.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. So the show recreates events, but not limited to the landing of the Mayflower, the Boston Tea Party, winter at Valley Forge during the Revolutionary War, the writing of the Declaration of Independence, the Civil War, the Great Depression, and World War II. You hear actual comments from the luminaries in American history like Susan B. Anthony, Frederick Douglass, Thomas Jefferson, Native American Chief Joseph, and Teddy Roosevelt, and a whole bunch of others. It took 5 years for Imagineers to bring this thing to life.
Wow.
Yeah. The moments in U.S. history are all part of a single computerized machine that lives below the stage floor. There's actually no stage floor. It's all open. We just can't tell from the seats.
Oh, wow.
And all of the sets are built into this machine, and they move up and down and left and right.
Oh, wow.
However they're needed to create the scenes on stage. Okay.
Wow. That is impressive.
Yeah, very much so. The music was created by the Philadelphia Symphony Orchestra.
Okay.
And then it was they recorded it in Philadelphia, and then they mixed it at in the Imagineering headquarters in California. They were really, really thoughtful about how they produced things. So like on the movie screen and the sets work in coordination with each other. So like, for example, at one of the World's Fairs, there's a scene where they have people like Carnegie and Susan B. Anthony and Mark Twain all in booths at the World Fair.
Oh, wow.
And you don't see anything on the stage, but on the movie screen, you see the ceiling of the World's Fair headquarters. And as the movie screen pans down, the sets rise up out of the stage. So by the time the camera gets all the way down to level, the sets have risen, and it actually looks like
or you're panning down
like
to
you're
them.
panning down to them.
Wow. I should totally watch this time.
You should totally see this eventually. Yeah, everyone should see this eventually. And so, but also like if what they showed on the movie screen wasn't around at the point in history that they're retelling, then they don't use it. So, for example, photography. They won't use photography, like photographic style images at a time in U.S. history when photography wasn't a thing yet.
Oh, wow.
Right? So just very detail-oriented. So I'm just going to kind of recount a segment of the show just to try to – this is sort of what it's like. So in one particularly powerful segment. We actually see Winter in Valley Forge during the American Revolutionary War, and we're there with George Washington on horseback, and he's looking very George Washington-esque, larger than life on his horse, right? Mm-hmm. While a couple of frostbitten and hungry and exhausted soldiers are standing across the way on the other side of the stage, and you literally can feel their suffering. I mean, they look so realistic, and they're sort of complaining about suffering for Washington's war. Well, Ben Franklin comes along and he narrates, that we eventually won that war. And then the sets just transition. They move down below the stage. The background changes to a sort of a swampy scene on the Mississippi River, and we see Frederick Douglass on a raft sort of float out onto the stage because he's riding down the Mississippi River. And he then recounts. So now we're talking about Mark Twain takes over the narration, and we hear Douglass comment on Harriet Beecher Stowe's novel, Uncle Tom's Cabin, how it has inspired an anti-slavery movement that will not be stopped. And so it just transitions from one scene to another where you actually feel like you're seeing Frederick Douglass on a raft. Mm. And this machinery, the technology, literally makes the raft list like it's in water. Yeah, it's
and these are animatronic.
These are purely animatronic. There's no live people in this thing. Oh, wow. This, for me, is just one of those shows where I find myself saying over and over again, oh, I love this part. I love this part. And so many of the moments make me feel like, pretty emotional sometimes.
I know, you get all
I get a little misty sometimes, a little verklempt.
Yeah,
you get the vapors. Yeah. There's a story about that they play, there's a family whose two sons fought on opposite sides of the Civil War. That's how they choose to depict the Civil War, like the impact it had on the American family, on the American society. The Brother, Can You Spare a Dime segment of the Great Depression is really powerful to me. There's a World War II segment that they choose to depict at Christmas time. But also, of all the ways they could have depicted World War II, they depict it from the Rosie the Riveter, right? The women who were working on the ships that got attacked during World War II. They, one of the characters says to the other, "Don't worry, maybe our boys will be home by next Christmas." I love that. I love it. And then, of course, there is the ultimate ending, the golden dream.
Well, you walk out singing that thing.
I do, and I sing it for the rest of the day.
I mean, are you tearing up right now?
A little bit, maybe. I love this thing. So Randy Bright, the guy that produced this show, actually wrote the lyrics to Golden Dream.
Oh, wow. Man, these are some talented people.
They are super talented people. And basically Golden Dream is a video montage. Nobody does a montage like Disney. And it picks up at World War II and shows us all these great American luminaries and moments since World War II. Muhammad Ali, Marilyn Monroe, Steve Jobs, Jim Henson, Fred Astaire, the crew of the Space Shuttle Challenger, 9/11 events.
Wow.
Right. Randy Bright stated that ultimately the story conveys that the American adventure is one of struggle. Hello. And probably always will be. He says, in fact, he said in 1983 when they filmed this thing that we're going through hell right now, right, is what he said. Wow. But that with the American spirit, we will always overcome struggle, and that's what this story is supposed to recount for us. Yeah. And I love it. And I can get the vapors about it.
You do love it, honey. And I'll say, I mean, I'm for American history, obviously non-whitewashed versions. But it really is a comfy seat in there.
And it gets dark, and you put you in a comfy seat in air conditioning on a hot day, and then they start...
After I've had a margarita at Mexico.
Right. I can understand.
So hard.
I understand.
It's hard.
I get it.
I'm a good napper.
You are a good napper, hon. So that's it for this week. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, you know what to do. Jump out to whatever service that you downloaded this podcast from and rate us, give us a review, and we will watch all the other listeners come in.
Yes, please. And if you're looking for more things Disney, please visit scfadp.com. That's S for super, C for Cali, F for fragilistic, A for awesome, D for Disney, P for podcast. We just released the homecoming brunch video on YouTube, which is drool worthy. Yep. So check that out. And in case you need other reasons to drool, we're also working on a special Festival of the Arts foodie episode.
Yeah. So watch out for that. Join us on all the social medias. Go out to Supercalifragilistic Awesome Disney Podcast on YouTube. Share that giveaway video. Join us for all conversations at SCFADP on all the other socials. The more, the merrier.
Yes, we would love to hear from you.
And with that, we hope to see you real soon.